All right, guys and girls, welcome back. Chapter 4. Okay, we're just going to keep going, guys, all right? Chapter 4 is very similar to Chapter 3. So if Chapter 3 was easy for you, or if you managed to finish it and do it well, then Chapter 4 should also be quite easy, okay? It's a little bit more difficult, all right? Now, we're getting a bit more difficult because we are talking about past tense, all right? Now, chapter 1, 2, and 3, we were talking about present tense, simple present tense, or present continuous tense, okay? So we're thinking about things that are happening, now, or the state that I'm in, right? I am a teacher, or we were talking about 현재 진행. We're talking about um, I'm going to the shops, or I'm playing basketball, right? Or we talked about our habits, 습관, right? Things that we do regularly, all right? I go to the PC room twice a week, or I learn the guitar 3 times a week, whatever it is. Not too difficult, all right? So last week, or last class, we looked at the question of what do you do, okay? Now remember, what do you do was talking about habits, right? Habits and routines. Okay, so I go to the gym 3 times a week. Okay, now when we're talking about what did you do, then it's super easy, right? Because we're just talking about one action, one event in the past that's finished. Okay, one action in the past that's finished. Nothing special about this. Okay, so what did you do? I can ask you guys, what did you do yesterday? What did you do last night? What did you do 5 minutes ago? What did you do on your birthday last year? Lots of easy questions and very useful questions, all right, that we can make, and useful conversations that we can have with using 과거형, right? So everything else is the same here, guys, right? Everything we usually do. So please, please, please make sure, all right, this is for your 참여, this is for your participation. Make sure that you're finishing all of these vocabulary questions, right? So the vocabulary today, or the topic you can see, is bachelor's degree, essay, lecture, midterm test, subject. What's the topic, guys? You know the topic. The topic is university. University words, university phrases. All right, so most of this stuff is not too difficult, but there are a few words like maybe we don't know what bachelor's degree is. Okay, let me not use green, let's use red. Bachelor's degree, or what's tuition, what's a doctorate, GPA, master's degree. All right, some of these words maybe you need to check, all right, before you do the question. So remember, write down, what is a bachelor's degree? Well, most of you, maybe all of you, are doing a bachelor's degree now, all right? So we've got haksa, soksa, baksa, right? Haksa, soksa, baksa. So bachelor's, haksa. Then we have master's degree. Where's master's? There it is. Haksa, soksa, and doctorate, baksa. Anyway, you should check it, right? You check what these words mean and think about university language. University language, okay? So if the word's tuition, what does tuition mean in university? Okay? Tuition might have 2 meanings or 3 meanings, but in university, what does the word tuition mean? Okay? So please, again, check these words and put them in the blank spaces. We will check that next class, guys. All right, so those are the words there. Only 12 questions here, guys, but some of these questions have 2 blank spaces, right? So still there's 15 words to enter. All right, so what is the grammar focus today? like I said, it's simple past verb forms. All right, so we're focusing on 과거형. All right, so simple past verb forms. Now, there are quite a few small things to remember for this chapter, and everything is here. This is just the big guide that you can use here, but there are a few things you need to remember, okay? Now, scenario one. Scenario one is I want to use a regular 일반 동사, right? I want to use a regular verb. Okay, so if I use a regular verb, then how do I make my regular verb 과거? How do I make it the past tense, all right, or past form of the verb? How do I do that? Well, I have an option. I can add ed, I can add ied, or I can add d. Okay. Now, you could probably see that there are some rules that we can apply. Now, if you remember last class, one of the rules when we were talking about using s, es, or ies is the letter y, right? So if a word ends in the letter y, then we can use IED, all right? So remember it was IES, this one's IED, okay, when we're using 과거형. So that's an easy one to remember, all right? So study, IED, studied, all right? Try, IED, tried. That's an easy one to remember, okay? The other one is if the word ends in an E, okay, you see this ends in an E, then we will change from simple present to simple past by using just a D, all right? We just add a D to the end of the word. Use, used, type, typed, okay? Now, walk, all right, this doesn't have a Y, there's no Y, and there's no E, all right? So that's the way you can think about it, guys. If the word doesn't finish with a Y and it doesn't finish with an E, then it's probably going to be ED, okay? Sometimes you have to put a double letter at the end, but usually, guys, you can just add ED. Now, I don't think in this class you're going to memorize all of these words. Probably not. If you know the words, fantastic. You know the words. If you don't know the words, it's okay, because what you can do is you can check the list of words at the end of this book, okay? And I showed you it last week or last class. So just go to the end of the book, all right? Maybe I can quickly show you now. Scroll down, this is my computer, all right? Scroll down to the end, and we've got all these words, right? So these are irregular verbs, all right? Because irregular verbs are a little bit more difficult, okay? So we've got here, become, became, become, all right? Again, what is it? Bite, bit, bitten, all right? So this is our simple present, this is our past, and this is our PP형, all right? Use it past participle, all right? This is when we're using 현재, what is it? 완료, right? Present perfect. But we're not doing that today, so don't worry about that. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back and look at irregular verbs. Yeah, all right. So irregular verbs, guys. Now, what if we're talking about irregular verbs? So a regular verb, what is an irregular verb? An irregular verb is where the present and the past word are different. They're different words, okay? So you have to memorize two words. I know, it's difficult, all right? But here are some examples, you know, buy, bought, eat, ate, teach, taught, know, knew, take, took, speak, spoke, all right? These are some nice, easy ones. Again, you just need to remember the words. So, best thing is, in this book, in this class, use the list at the end of the book, all right? And that will help you. And the last one, guys, is using be verb. Okay, now be verb is nice and easy. We have already talked about these two groups, right? So we've got I, he, she, it is one group, and we, you, they is another group. So just remember, I was, he was, she was, it was. All right, and you were, they were, we were. All right, nice and easy to remember. So what does it look like in a sentence? All right, so we're talking about nice and simple timeline. All right, and we've got our, this is our timeline. Let's say here is now. All right, and there's present. Okay, so this is present here. All right, and everything else here, this is all this is all 과거. All right, this is all times in the past. Okay. All right, so what is 과거형? What is past participle? Oh, sorry, what is simple past? Simple past is just one action. All right, so I could put it here. Bang, there's my X. One action in the past that's finished. Okay, so if we look at this sentence here, I studied English. Now, when, I don't know. In this sentence, it doesn't say when, okay? But what is the kind of verb here? IED, this is a regular verb, okay? So I, 주어, studied, regular verb with ending, and then whatever details you want to add, right? I forgot, irregular verb, I forgot my book today. I was happy, 비동사, yesterday. All right, so here, I studied English. We can add a bit more detail, right? I studied English. Let's say I studied English before this class. I studied English before this class. Okay, so let's say this X here is before this class. All right, so let's say here is before this class. All right, so present. This class is here. All right, my star is this class, and before this class, my X, I studied English. Okay, nice and easy. All right, so that's our 긍정, right? So we got 긍정, 부정, yes, no, WH, right? Always the same. All right, so positive statements are there. Now, what about negative statements? Now, guys, if you remember last class, it's the same thing. All right, remember we used what do you do? All right, why do you do something? Or the question, do you do something? Or negative, I don't do something. Okay, so remember when we're using these three categories, negative statements, yes, no questions, and WH questions, all of these must be or must use did. All right, or we can also use, if it's be verb, right, was and were. Okay, so again, very important to remember, guys. I'll just put it like that. Okay, so did or was and were all need to be used when you're writing these sentences. Okay, so let's take a look. Subject, I didn't, so it's negative, right? I didn't go, I didn't play, I didn't eat, I didn't study, I didn't see, I didn't watch, whatever it is, okay? I didn't go out. Again, when, we don't know. So you can say, I didn't go out before this class, or something like that. I didn't go out yesterday, last night, whatever. Irregular verb, all right? Anyway, you can choose what irregular verb you want to use here if you want to, right? So I didn't go out, but it doesn't matter, all right? Now that we're using regular and irregular, we can use any 동사, but we're not going to change it, okay? It doesn't matter, all right? So you see this. This is not, I didn't went out. No. That is bad English, all right? I didn't went out is not good, okay? What do we do, guys? Because we have Our didn't is using 과거형, all right? So I didn't is in the past. This is our auxiliary verb, all right? This is helping us to see, all right, we're talking about the past. We don't need to say, we don't need to make go went. We don't need to change it to went. So we can keep it as go. I didn't go. I didn't eat. I didn't play. All right. So same thing here, guys. I didn't go. I didn't study. Not I didn't studied. All right. I didn't study English. And when we're using 비동사, be verb, was, were. Right. So again, is it I? Is it he, she, we, they? You have to check and then make the sentence. Right. She was not, wasn't happy. All right. And again, we can add more detail. Right. She wasn't happy last night because her team lost. All right, something like that. She wasn't happy last night because her team lost. All right, lost the game. Something like that. All right. And everything else, guys, is now just following the same pattern. All right. So how do we make a question, guys? You should know this now. How do we make a question? We have to swap our 주어 and our 동사. All right. So here we've had subject's here, did is here. We just swapped it around. All right. Subject is here, was, were is here. Just swapped it around. Okay. So did she go? All right. Did you play? Did I enjoy? Right? Whatever it is. Okay. So did you see her? Did she go to the USA? And here 비동사, were you a student? Okay, nice and easy. And then WH question, guys. How do we make WH question? We just use a yes, no question. All right, did, subject, verb, all the same. And then we just add WH to the beginning. Okay, so same here, guys. All right, when did they win the game? All right, nice and easy. So let's try and make one topic or one kind of sentence for each point here, for each kind. So let's do this. Let's do he fell and broke his leg. He fell and broke his leg. That's terrible. Should we change it? Is it too sad? Oh, okay, let's change it. He dropped his cell phone in the toilet. That's more lighthearted. It's funny. All right. It's not funny. It's expensive. Anyway, he dropped his cell phone in the toilet. All right. There we go. So what is my 과거? What's my past tense? Drop. Then we add the PPED. All right. So this is a regular verb, right? Okay. So nice and easy. Okay. Oops. He dropped his cell phone in the toilet. All right. Now let's use negative. All right. Again, guys, I want you to think about it or write it down in your book. What is the negative sentence for the same thing? He dropped cell phone toilet. What is the negative sentence? 5 seconds. He didn't drop, not dropped, drop his cell phone in the toilet. All right. Next one. What is the question? Same thing, right? He dropped cell phone toilet. What is this question? 5 seconds. Write it down. Okay. Did he drop his cell phone in the toilet? Did he drop his cell phone in the toilet? All right. Yes, he dropped his cell phone in the toilet. Or no, he didn't drop his cell phone in the toilet. All right. And what is the question? Again, WH question, guys. Check page 3 if you need some help. Think about any WH question. I'll think of one. You guys think of one. Write it down. He dropped cell phone toilet. WH question. All right. I'm going to say, how did he drop his cell phone in the toilet? How did he drop his cell phone in the toilet? How did he do it? Well, he was how did he drop his cell phone in the toilet? He was playing games on his cell phone, and then suddenly his mum opened the door, and he was surprised. So he dropped I don't know. He threw his cell phone into the air, and then plop, it dropped in. I don't know. It dropped in the toilet somehow. Okay. We could change this to when. When did he drop his cell phone in the toilet? He dropped his cell phone in the toilet on Thursday night. All right, when he got home from drinking. He was out. That's how he dropped his cell phone in the toilet. He was drinking too much, and he got home and he fell asleep on the toilet, and then he dropped his cell phone in the toilet. Oh, that's not good. All right, easy peasy, guys. So those are 4 different kinds of sentences using the same verb, but hopefully nice and easy for you. All right, so what do we need to do? After you finish the 15 questions and the vocabulary, go back up, choose some words from here, any words you want to choose. So I can choose here like tuition, scholarship, something like that, or essay. All right, whatever. Choose some words, come down here and write down some sentences. Okay, now I already told you guys this stuff, but let's quickly check it. All right, so in negative sentences and questions, you need to use did. All right, so I told you that, guys, already. In these cases, did and subject are matched. Okay, so like I said, your 주어 and your subject are already matched. You don't need to change anything. Okay, which makes it easy. The infinitive verb, the verb directly after did. All right, so I didn't clean. That's my infinitive verb, clean. All right, does not need to be changed. So again, I didn't cleaned. No, not right. I didn't clean. Don't change the infinitive verb. For be verb, 비동사, you do not use did. All right, we know that. You can check the guide and you can see it here, right? So did, didn't, short forms, right? Was, wasn't, and were, weren't. All right, so a couple of tips, things to think about there. All right, so anyway, let's come down and let's write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, again, just keep it simple, guys. If you don't want to use the words in the book, you can use any words you want to use. Okay, just make it simple, make it interesting. Okay, and try to give a time, guys. You see this? What does it say? Last winter? Can't see it. To Canada last winter, right? Here, his lunch today, for the test today, last vacation. So we have some time, all right? So use time in your sentences as well, all right? So again, we can write here, Tom finished his essay last night. Okay, so we got the word essay. Finish is a regular verb, ed, finished. Okay, negative, again, guys, keep it simple, whatever you want to write. But what did we say? Scholarship. All right, we can say, oh, Janet didn't get a scholarship this semester. All right, so she didn't get, got, gotten. So get, got, this is a irregular verb, but again, we don't need to change it because we already have our didn't, okay? Yes, no question. Again, guys, you can choose it yourself, make it yourself, keep it simple. It's very, very easy. Use the guide, 8 sentences, and make sure you do the 15 questions here. And as always, guys, do the quiz. All right. Have a great day, and I will see you in chapter 5. Bye-bye.